about 4 times a year. It's not usually open to the public, but they don't have open space occasionally. St Thomas's Hospital is to our left. So that building where Florence Nightingale founded the first college of nursing right back in the 1870s. And during the Crimean War, Florence Nightingale helped with the death rate in the British Army. In 1940-1941, evacuees for this part of London. The bombs destroyed almost the whole of the hospital here. So we're heading back over Westminster Bridge. Built in 1854. It's one of the most elegant bridges on the River Thames. You may notice that Westminster Bridge is painted green, and this is the National Forestry, which is also green. And Lambeth Bridge, over to our right, sorry, over to our left, is painted red. That's the National Forestry, and House of Lords, which is that colour also. Next to the river, the red and green tea terraces, where the members of Parliament
beautiful building, isn't it?
anything but tea during their parliamentary recesses.
You can't even see it unless you get close. All the detail.
I know. Can you see all the statues and stuff built into the sides of it?
Clever Bridge. Piece of architecture, this. If you go inside, if you take a tour inside, you'll notice
see all the statues
on the sides. Inside. Tour costs about £7.50. So, we're coming
Straight up shot.
Parliament Square. And we're coming on to.
There used to be a jail cell right beneath the bell.
It's stop number
Like I said,
21 on the road.
they would put their criminals right beneath the bell.
That would be.
And this building, I think it's that one. No, it's back there. It's back there, right next to the Abbey. It has some really cool statues on it, built into the building.
Thanks, Noel.
Yeah, there's Churchill.
And the small white church you can see straight ahead of us is
Okay.
St Margaret's, Westminster.
Yeah.
That was where Sir Winston Churchill was married in 1908.
This one right here. Look at the statues
That on the left is Westminster Abbey.
kind of down by the bottom.
Of course, that's resting place of many of our monarchs.
See all the statues down there on the bottom?
So now coming around again, statue of Abraham Lincoln on the left, donated by the city of Chicago in 1998.
Come by here.
The city also donated a few clubs.
That's all this is?
So that Abraham Lincoln could stand on American soil.
Well, it just overlaps. Yeah.
British soil isn't good enough for
We
him.
just did the whole thing. I thought we started like one.
Now on the trail now, I just
That's gonna go all over.
Churchill.
See, look.
We only did 3 stops. They just turned around by that hill.
Going to Great Parliament area.
Let's see right here. We came from here. We went through like this.
And we're coming into Whitehall. And we're coming up to our stop. Stop number 74. Number 74 for Whitehall. So here where you can get the red tour. That's what you you often get demonstrations like this here. Around various things. What's this about? There's Downing Street on our left. There's local road knocks at Tony Blair. So we have our stop here, number 75, if anybody wants to go and join that madness. Number 75 for Whitehall. No? Nobody's coming down, man. The chaps have been sent a moment off on the blues of Wales. The way we can tell this is by their red tunics, the red plumage in their helmets. Blues of Wales. Quite an old regiment founded right back in the late 18th century.
Guard went right out in the middle of the street. It's the changing of the horse guard. Have a seat.
As you can see, the guards have just changed. They're just their large office to
walking
government
right towards me, and I
just over
forgot to turn my
to our
camera
right.
on. Every time I come around, by that time he was almost on me.
Late
He was
19th century.
gonna move.
Great Scotland Yard on our right.
This is Trafalgar Square.
Was when Robert Peel founded the Metropolitan Police back in 1829. The building was later blown up by
That statue.
the IRA in 1988. But the Metropolitan Police still kept their horses at Great Scotland Yard. So we're coming up to Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square takes its name from the Battle of Cape Trafalgar, which was fought off the coast of Spain on the 21st of October 1805. The British fleet, heavily outnumbered by a combined French and Spanish fleet, were completely victorious under the command of Lord Horatio Nelson, the Champion Sea, on top of his column. Now, the Battle of Trafalgar was one of the greatest naval victories of the 19th century. It's quite a remarkable feat. But what happened before the battle was perhaps even more remarkable. Lord Nelson had been trying to keep the French fleet away from invading Britain. So first of all he chased the French fleet all the way over to the Caribbean.
This is where we're getting off,
Then he chased them all the way back again. And he hoped to catch them in the Straits of Gibraltar. And now we no longer have a stop in Trafalgar Square, we just have one about 5 minutes afterwards. We have one in the Charing Cross Road. Of course, as you can see, Trafalgar Square's very dug up a bit at the moment. Church of St Martin, the Fields is to our right. The parish church of Buckingham Palace matched the Queen. Built by James Gibbs in the 1720s. Very remarkable church.
Look at all the birds.
Somebody needs to come out here with the BB gun.
National Portrait Gallery is just to our left. The IFB National Gallery, that's absolutely free of charge. Like almost all the museums in London, heavy. So we're in the Charing Cross Road now. We'll be coming up to stop number 77. Number 77.
Oh, we gotta keep
Stop
going now.
on Charing Cross Road.
Nope, we can't switch to red because they didn't use filters, so.
There's somebody coming
Pretty
down.
nice though here. Got a good seat.
Yeah, we can wait till we get back to that other one. Do you want to take the boat cruise now while it's supposedly warmer, or wait till after the tower?
Until after it starts raining.
Squares was made out in 1574. It's now a bit of a shadow of its former self. There's once a pleasant little garden square. Changed quite a lot. It's quite a vivid nightlife facing the square on the left. Chinatown is on our left. Notice that the street signs are also in Chinese as well as in English. The Chinese moved here in the 1850s, like the 1950s. Only that had been in Lighthouse. Because before that they came from China. Chinatown. The Palace Theatre is to our left. So my Sir Angelo Weber always plays the Miserable here. Soho is down the streets on our left. It was very famous with
Soho.
in colourful nightlife. It's where you can find pubs and cafes, coffee shops during the day, pubs and clubs at night. Soho.
What was the name of that market? Do you remember that really? Did you ever go in there? That big market? Remember where Princess Diana's
After the
boyfriend
Second World War,
or whatever?
this area had been damaged by
Yeah,
heavily.
Harrods, that's right.
Many of these buildings had been burnt out, although they still stand. They had been completely burnt out. Huge fires had started around here. And so there was a plan during the 1950s to destroy all of these buildings. Instead, build a series of skyscrapers. Only one was ever built. The Centre Point Tower on the right. But the first is now become quite loved by Londoners.
Yeah, they didn't want to do that. That would have been crazy.
Oxford Street is down on our left. Now Oxford Street is the busiest street in Europe. This is where it starts. It starts at the Tottenham pub, which you can see. And it's 1.5 miles long. There's only one pub in its entire length. So that's a bit of an unusual street for Britain. There are 38 shoe shops in Oxford Street. So good place to go shopping. Of course you'll find Selfridges there as well. So we're turning into Great Russell Street on our way to the British Museum. Now if you've been on the Red Tour, or if you're going to go on the Red Tour,
Shane.
Yeah. There's women up there. They had screens around them. Keep the birds off.
quite an imposing building. There's originally plans to make Southampton Road like Oxford Street or Regent Street. That's why Victoria House was built. We're looking now into Kingsway, that's the street at the heart of the Edwardian metropolitan improvements. The improvements that were done to London in the early 1900s. There's been good reason for them. This area had been covered in slums. So to destroy all these slum properties, this huge street was built to link Euston Station in the north with Waterloo Station centre, where we get alongside the church. Shrapnel Down is there on the right. Barnes, the symbol of the City of London. Some form of boundary marker just there since 1265. Coming up on the right-hand side, a black and white timber building. This building survived the Great Fire of 1666. Typical 16th, early 17th century architecture. Has been renovated since then. That's why it looks, well, comparatively new, fresh. So at the moment we're on Fleet Street. Fleet Street is famous for the newspaper industry. Now the first printing presses, they arrived on Fleet Street at the start of the 16th century. Fleet Street is like contemporary the first pub in London to serve Guinness. So, if you were here saying 702 AD, 18 centuries ago, you'd see lots of trees, lots of Roman villas, and the bottom of the slope, the Fleet River itself, and then about 100 metres up the slope, the other side of the river from here, you would have seen the Roman wall. So originally the Fleet River enacted rather like a natural moat, extra line of defence from the west. Now the next thing I'm going to point out, it's a bit tricky to see, you can't see it just yet, but I'll start talking about it. You're going to see that at the top of the church, that's called St Bride's. Now Baker's daughter married in the church. See the church, have a look behind your right shoulder, and as we go up the hill it will come into view. So, for his daughter's wedding, William Ritchie baked a cake, and the cake's design he copied the top of the church. That's the reason why Western cultures have tiered or layered wedding cakes. So the next street on the left is Old Bailey. At the other end of Old Bailey from here, that's where you find the central criminal court. So if you look left between the buildings, up in the sky, you'll glimpse the Statue of Justice on top of the central criminal court. And there's that. I'm going to ask you please to say the same. So directly in front of us, St Paul's Cathedral. Christian worship on this site for almost 14 centuries. Now the cathedral that we know today, the masterpiece of St Christopher Wren, you can see it just in front of us on the left. And this cathedral was only built because the previous one destroyed by the Great Fire of 1666. This cathedral took 35 years to complete, finished in 1710 during the reign of Queen Anne, statue of Queen Anne on the left. So from the top of the cross on top of the dome down to the ground, 365 feet. 1 foot for every day of the year. Oh, someone's camera cover going for a walkabout. Develop your photographs, you get a nasty reflection from the glass. That's not going to happen. Not there.
There we go.
So earlier this week, St Paul's Cathedral is where we had the nation's memorial service for the victims of those terrible attacks last year. And in my lifetime, perhaps St Paul's Cathedral best known for the wedding, and it links St Paul's Cathedral to Tate Modern, the world's largest gallery of modern art. Sharp right, see that? There it is. So the Millennium Footbridge was opened for just 3 days in the year 2000, and it was then found to be suffering from excessive pedestrian-induced vibration. Now, basically, I mean, it was wobbly. Now, I don't know about you, but where I come from, we've got a quick and easy way of saying excessive pedestrian-induced vibration. It's say bad design instead, it's much easier. And they just spent 2 years and £5 million stopping the bridge wobbling. It's been reopened after about 4 months. So the City of London is not very big, just over 1 square mile in area. Sometimes it's called a square mile for short, sometimes called the city. And not many people live in the City of London. 6,500 people live here, close to 300. And to remind us of that, around here there are many, many self-descriptive street names. 100 metres over to the left you find Cheapside. People went to Cheapside for all kinds of cheap everyday requirements. On Cheapside you'd find Milk Street, Bread Street, Wood Street, Poultry. Around here Garlic Hill, Fish Street Hill. That's just a few of the many, many self-descriptive street names. We're going downhill, almost at the bottom of another river valley. This time the Walbrook used to run here from left to right. The Walbrook, crucial to the Romans, it was their constant fresh water supply right at the heart of their walled city. The next few streets on the left, they haven't really changed in width since the Middle Ages. Now conditions for human habitation in these narrow streets, far from ideal. Very overcrowded housing, no proper sanitation. These streets would be nasty open sewers. 1665, a very hot summer, perfect conditions for disease. The Great Plague of 1665 wiped out at least 100,000 people, maybe a third, possibly more than half the population. At the height of the plague, if the wind was blowing from the west, you could smell the stench of death in Tilbury, 15 miles east of here. Now, if you survived the horrors of 1665, well done. The next year, though, the Great Fire. That destroyed 13,200 steps to get to the top. If you want to go to the top, it's going to cost you £1.50. You'll get a certificate when you get back down to the bottom. The last time I went, there was no certificate available, but it only cost 2 pence. I'm not going to tell you when that was. Now, directly in front of us, this is London Bridge. Now, this one's the 6th, possibly the 7th London Bridge. Nobody knows for certain. You know, the Romans were their first London Bridge just to the left of this one. Have a look on the left-hand side. Also pretty certain that's the most famous bridge in the world. Now, if you remember one thing from this tour, if you didn't know this already, this is the one thing I'd like to think this will stay with you for the rest of your days. That bridge on the left, definitely not London Bridge. We are on London Bridge. That is Tower Bridge on the left-hand side. So the River Thames is a tidal river, 9 metres from high to low tide. At the moment that's low tide. 9 metres, a massive tidal range for any river. But when you're more than 20 miles from the open sea, well, that's ridiculous. It shouldn't be like that. The reason why it's such a big tidal range, the river, as I said earlier, some places half, some places a third of its natural width. So the effect of the tide at least doubled by man over the past 2,000 years. Now, we just left the City of London. We just arrived in the borough of Southwark. So, about a 6 or 7 minute walk from the next stop to Tate Modern, world's largest gallery of modern art, free to go there. That's my favourite gallery in London, I thoroughly recommend that. And our next stop is stop 17. Now, if you want to go to the Tower of London, that's at stop 18. The next stop, stop 17, is your last chance for the fast entry ticket to the Tower of London. The fast entry ticket costs the same as paying on the door. As the name implies, you leave the queue outside.
Do you want to get it here?